Do it in Kenya. The Kenyan ICT-Board, the Kenyan BPO and Contact Center Society, in conjunction with Networking for Professionals, hosted a fantastic networking session to showcase Kenya as an outsourcing destination.
We all know ICT and business process outsourcing is a hot topic today. But I'd like to remind you that with Networking for Professionals, this is something that we picked up quite a while back. In 2003, we held a meeting with the then Information Minister, Honorable Raphael Tuju, and he came and we were speaking about information and communication, and at that time, you know, no one was even thinking about contact centers and or business process outsourcing. We're just really thinking, how can we promote the image of Kenya, feeling there's some antagonism between the media and Kenya, and we started working on promoting a positive image.
Ken Cole, the flag bearer for Kenya in outsourcing sector, was celebrating an outstanding award.
There's a huge market in Kenya. It actually looks like, for what we have been committed to in Kenya, that we have as many jobs committed in the last 2 weeks as we have already in our business. So 100% growth on the table, just basically here, take it. This award's going to help. We've seen 2 very large companies over these last 2 days walking in with the award. Has been a great help. Just check the box.
There are so many jobs that can be outsourced to Kenya, and it's any kind of job. The example I just gave you, it could be anything else. It could be, research work within medical clinics. It could be research work within legal stuff, case studies. Those are the kind of data work that can be passed over. In terms of voice services, just about anything can be outsourced to Kenya. So when you consider any job that is being done in any office within the UK, the US, Australia, wherever it is, that work can be outsourced. If it doesn't need a face-to-face personal interaction with the customers on the other side and it's voice or data work, outsource it, send it home.
The ICT-Board was represented by Deputy CEO Eunice Kariuki, who portrayed confidence in Kenya as an ICT destination. She wooed potential clients with her promissory speech and pointed at advantages Kenya enjoys as an outsourcing destination. This was in her BPO value proposition.
What I will do, I will concentrate on Kenya's business process outsourcing value proposition. And what it is a good quality and affordable solution for business process outsourcing, summarized in 3 key value points. The first one is a thriving economy. The second one is a growing business process outsourcing industry. And the third one is public sector commitment. So to start with, Kenya's economic recovery strategy has created a strong growth over the past few years, and this has been achieved through key pillars of the recovery strategy: macroeconomics, governance, infrastructure, and concentration of human capital. And you have heard so much about it. If you look at the graphs there, it is a demonstration that some good things have been happening. Real GDP growth, it is on a very impressive trend. It is not extremely ambitious, it is cautious, but we are a developing economy, and it goes to say some right things are being done there. So if you want to invest, you can be sure that it will actually happen. The recent growth has been supported by a significant increase in development spending. Between 2002 and 2005, the government increased spending by about 120% in infrastructure, and specifically energy and infrastructure. Between then and now, this has gone to nearly 200%, and this is a demonstration again that the government is very committed to address the #1 requirement for investors in Kenya.
Catherine Gahu, ICT-Board chairperson, was all smiles as she marked the launch, presenting DVDs labeled "Do It in Kenya," a presentation for potential investors in this field.
Now, another thing that maybe I would just like to note is the commitment and interest that Kenya is generating from foreign investors. In fact, the few things that are the various projects, even as we talk about, for example, the fact that government committed about $13 million to help set up a BPO park It's purely to do the structuring, the consultancy, and the arrangement, because this park will require much more money. But the fact that first government has put that is a great commitment. But the interesting thing is that the private sector organizations from all over the world that have come knocking saying, I will put in $2 billion, I will put in what? I want to participate in this. It's now we have to actually come up with a process. And the government has come up with a framework for public-private partnerships. But how do you select when you have 10 people saying, I want to put in $1 billion, $2 billion, $3 billion in Kenya? So we are basically saying that Kenya is able to attract investment. And if it's attracting investment from all over, the Middle East has become one of the latest investors in Kenya. Some of the organizations like even they have invested in tourism. They've invested in the mobile telephony with a company like Zain, who is the second largest mobile operator, having invested over $500 million in the last few years and promising to invest much more.
Networking for professionals have been a keen player in promoting outsourcing to Kenya, as seen when they previously hosted former Minister for ICT and Communication Mutahi Kagwe. They have an ICT wing that work in researching areas that could benefit Africa at large from learned lessons in the UK.
We have 4 main purposes for this particular working group. But the main one, I'll pick up on the main one, is first of all to make sure that we contribute to the diaspora. Make sure that at least we are able to address ICT-related issues and embrace them and try and advise people from the country or people from Africa, whichever country that you're coming from, how ICT should be handled or which is the way forward. And we thought that that was the best way we could contribute as people or technocrats in the diaspora. The second aspect we're looking at is making sure that we try and identify some of the technologies, niche technologies that we think will benefit our countries, niche technology that we think will compete effectively when they're deployed back at home.
As usual, Kenyans in the UK came in number, eager to share their knowledge, their aspirations, and were keen to be the link between the BPO and the Western companies. This was a smash entry for the ICT-Board to the UK market, which will no doubt increase outsourcing clientele to Kenya. So, if you have to do it in Kenya. Janet Wainana reporting from London.
Okay, the reason I'm interested in events today is that my job is actually to promote tourism, but where I promote tourism is actually in West Africa, in Ghana. And the affiliation or connection is with Kenya Airways, coming in from London into Ghana, flying from Accra to Nairobi, and then Nairobi back to London, and using Kenya as a second destination for tourism to introduce to Ghana and to introduce more tourism into Kenya.
Oh, well, I mean, I have a passion for Africa. I believe in the natural, talents and in promoting and trying to develop what Africa has. So anything that's going to tell me more about what Africa is offering and, where Africa really stands today, I think I shouldn't miss that opportunity.
Thank you very much.
One thing that I picked up today is that it's changed my mindset. It's changed, there's a bit of a misconception on how we view things in Kenya. And I'm quite pleased to know that, things are moving on for the good. And it's up to us to really sort of grab the bull by the horn and run with it and bring change. Total change. There is change and there is total change. And I believe that the total change is when we can sort of create an environment where people can use the skills that they have and also to challenge them to go to school, get a skill, and put it to good use.
Yes, you did say something very interesting about partnership. Nobody said really well how you want the diaspora to get involved. Could you clear that a little bit?
Well, most people when they come to trade, they don't know where to start. Okay, some companies have been there for a long time, and we've done a lot of homework. So rather than come and start doing another new feasibility studies, you can talk to the existing companies. We have every other company is willing to talk to someone with a new idea. So if you have a project from outside, you can come and talk to us and use our infrastructure, maybe act as a broker, act as maybe take a commission. There's so many different ways you can act with existing players. But of course, if you want to set up for yourself, there's always the ways and means. As I said, the society is there to help people who want to start up afresh.